Alright, so the last PSA video was in August. It's been around 6 months since that time. Let's see how my collection has changed. What did I buy and what did I sell? Let's get into it. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be my PSA collection update video. It's going to have all of my PSA collection as well as some extra BGS ones. What I'm going to go over is what I bought, what I sold, and we're going to get into it real quick. This is going to be the first box. Right off the bat, this is a palms off case. I'm going to have these linked in the description below. I absolutely love these cases. They are hard, solid, really well made, incredibly sturdy. I actually love them. So the first box that we're going to go into here is the promos. Basically, I started picking up some promos. So the first thing that we're going to go into is the 4 UBP pieces, and not all of them are PSA 10, unfortunately. One of them is a PSA 9. So these come out of the Ultimate Beginners pack. I'm gonna do a separate video just on these, like exclusively, because a lot of people don't know that these even exist, and these are probably the rarest Exodia pieces out there in terms of just how hard they are to find, like, because they barely ever come up for sale, to be honest with you. I have 3 PSA 10s and 1 PSA 9. I was bidding on the head. I bought like 3 of them and the 9, and then I was ready to buy the 10 and somebody outbid me and I lost. And it's extremely heartbreaking. But this is the 4 Exodia pieces from UBP. I'm trying to build the whole set because I just think that Exodia is iconic, and in his rarest form, I think that he's an awesome collectible. The next set is Elemental Hero Collection. So I picked up these for 3 times what I sold them for to the same guy. When I sold these, I initially thought that I'd be able to replace them, like, not easily, but like it wouldn't be too difficult. Unfortunately, I have not graded a single 10 since I sold these in like 2019, I believe, and I paid like an arm and a leg for these. It was extremely expensive. I'm still happy with them because, again, these are graded by me, so like they're absolutely mint and they're straight from the packaging, actually, and I really love them. I think these vanillas in Secret Rare are, like, even in the Exodia pieces, that just the vanilla aspect in Secret Rare is just gorgeous. This is the highest rarity in my opinion. I know there's the Mattel promos, but I don't really consider those, like, they don't look the same. Like the feeling of the card, even, it doesn't look the same. I'm still looking for Burstina chicks, obviously. Next is Armed Dragon level 7. This is a pop 1 card. Not only is this card like extremely rare, a lot of people don't even know that Armed Dragon comes as a secret rare, but the sealed product, I've only seen 2 of them in my whole life, and both of them were damaged. Like, none of them are actually minty. This card is like absolutely extinct. I mean, you can find the raw card for cheap, not cheap, I would say like $50, but sealed product is like non-existent. And then in PSA 10 is basically unheard of. So I actually picked this one up myself back when it was graded and nobody really knew about this. I sold it to somebody, and I rebought it for like 3 times the price. It's very unfortunate. I had to bite the bullet and pick up the 10. And then last but not least, I have the iconic Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. This card comes out of the Jump magazine. What's interesting about this one is it's very hard to replace this card, like, other than the stock that's already available. Even if you open a magazine and try to pull this out, it's gonna have glue stains on the back. I don't think the population will grow like too much bigger than what it already is, because again, this card is very hard to come by in mint condition. Very available in like regular light play near mint, but in gem mint, I mean, I rarely see these come up for sale, so I'm very happy to have this one in my collection. It's a Blue Eyes card, iconic, you know, you just have to have it. Alright, so the next set is basically set cards that are secret rares. The first 2 I have are Jinzo. I think you've seen these in my collection video. I have 2 of them, and they've stayed with me for the past 6 months. I haven't really had any good offers to sell or trade, so I'm just having them in my collection. Next is another card that you guys have seen, Injection Fairy Lily. Actually, I'm pretty sure most of these cards you've seen. So it's Necroface, Magic Formula, 2 of them, Blue Eye Shining Dragon, and Dragon Master Knight. So all 6 of these have stayed in my collection thus far, and I don't think that they're going to be moving anytime soon. However, I did add 1 more card to this set, which is a BGS 9.5 Magic Formula. I was able to pick this up for what I consider a steal for just how rare the card is. All of these are North American, by the way. None of them are European. So the only thing wrong on this one is basically the centering. Everything else is pretty much flawless. It's a pack fresh card. I absolutely love it, and I'm very happy to add another like formula into my collection. Next, this box has all of my ultimate rares inside, so we're gonna start one by one. First, I picked up Elemental Hero Phoenix Enforcer. This is an ultra rare from Enemy of Justice, very hard to come by in PSA 10, and I got this for what I would consider a steal, so I'm happy about that, and it's gonna go in my collection. Next is not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 Cyber Dragons in PSA 10 Ultimate Rares. These are all North American. Most of these were actually graded by me. Like you can see, 2 of them are actually consecutive certs. Like I'm pretty sure all of them were graded by me. So I'm very happy about these guys. 2 of them are for sale. I want to only keep 3 of them, but so that's Cyber Dragon. Next is Flame Wingman. This was one of the cards that I was missing, and this is a 9, but I picked up 2 PSA 10s that are North American. This is actually a European copy. The reason I settled for a 9 European is, you know, for Euro cards, very difficult to acquire PSA 10s, and even when they are PSA 10s, I still find some like whitening on the back. So it's like, do I really want to pay the premium for just the label? I don't really think it's necessary. I think PSA 9s, as long as they're clean, I think it's good enough for me. Just this is one of the most beautiful cards in ultimate rarity, so I'm very happy to have that. And the other 2 are gem mint cards of the North American version, which is probably like the rarest version in terms of just how hard it is to pull when it comes to these GX ultis. Cyber End Dragon, you've seen this before. I actually graded the second one and I ended up selling one of them. Wild Edge, you've seen that. Rampart Blaster, you've seen that. And Shining Flare, you've seen. These are the Elemental Hero 3, and then there's Tempest in there as well. Cyber Dark Dragon, this one is a new pickup for this collection. I picked this up because, again, I'm trying to collect all the cover cards for the GX era. You know, because there's no YuGiOh on the front or Jaden, right? The card is super prominent, and I think that's very collectible in that case. I had to have for my CDIP set. I was able to pick this up for what I would consider a good price. Another new pickup, Force of the Breaker Volcanic Doomfire. But here's the next guy right there in the set, which is Strike of Neos, Air Neos. This is probably like the rarest ultimate rare. I don't believe there's anything that is lower pop than Air Neos. This card is obnoxiously hard to grade because it's always off center. Even this one, like I would still say that it's a little bit OC left to right, but it did squeeze out the PSA 10. But that's Air Neos and Force of the Breakers Volcanic Doomfire. Absolutely love these 2 cards, especially Air Neos. This is a card that you've seen before, LN53, Labyrinth of Nightmare Dark Magician. Gorgeous card, absolutely love it. And then here's another pickup. This is a European PSA 10 Thunder Giant. This is like flawless, and that's the main reason why I bought it. It was just like a really clean PSA 10. Absolutely love this card. It's a complement to Ancient Gear Golem and Flame Wingman. You can see that Ancient Gear Golem is actually gone from the collection. I end up selling it, or actually trading it towards this and the Flame Wingman PSA 9, so very happy to have that. Duelist Pack Kaiba Crush Card Virus. This is probably like the 2nd or 3rd rarest version of this card, but this is by far the best looking one when compared to like the ultra rare or the gold rare or anything that came after it. This is absolutely gorgeous. The emboss is very prominent, and like the hollow foil looks absolutely gorgeous. So I got this for like dirt cheap in my opinion, so yeah. But before I get into the next box, I just want to show 2 other GX cards that I have that are BGS graded. This is Raviel, Lord of Phantasms in BGS 9.5. This is, I think, the highest graded ultimate rare Raviel. This is 9.5++. And if you know Shadow of Infinity, you know how off-center these cards are. So the fact that this got 10 centering, and it truly deserves it, is profound. I mean, I was thinking of crossing this to PSA 10, but I think it's actually rarer to get like a 9.5++ on these cards compared to a PSA 10. Maybe one day I'll be able to get a PSA 10, but for now I'm very happy with the 9.5++ in the meantime. And then this is a card that you guys have seen. I featured it in one of my product spotlights. You know what it is. Like, it's the Rainbow Dragon misprint. This is the 2nd highest grade. This actually has a clean surface. The only problem with it is that it's a little bit OC, but it's not even that bad. Like, if I'm being honest with you guys, I actually think it can get the PSA 10. So I might end up cracking this, but for now, I'm kind of happy with where it's at. I paid a lot for it because I was trying to do the video and I wanted a nice copy of this card before I did it, because, you know, it's going to bring a lot of awareness to it and I don't want to miss out on the card before I put out the video. So that's the BGS 9 Rainbow Dragon Ghost Rare misprint. All right, next is going to be my final box, and it's going to be my biggest heavyweights. It's going to have a lot of the cards that are worth the most in my collection, but also it has some of the cards that I really love the most in my collections. First is my PSA 10 Blue Eyes. You can see that this one actually upgraded. This was a glossy before and I replaced it with a wavy. This was graded on my channel. You can look at my YouTube videos and you'll see that I graded a PSA 10 here. I actually got rid of 2 of the Blue Eyes, so now I only have 1 wavy and 1 glossy. I feel like that's enough. I have a glossy one that this is the first big deal that I made, and I might do a video on this one, like how I acquired this, because I think it would make a good story. And then this is the most recent acquired card that I have in my collection. This is the wavy PSA 10 Blue Eyes first edition. I picked up a PSA 9 because this was actually packed fresh. The only problem with it was that it's off center, so I might be cracking this one. I don't know yet. If the PSA 9 price falls a lot, like below the 5,000 mark, I'll probably crack it, but for now I'm just gonna keep it as a PSA 9. Next, I picked up a PSA 10 SDK. This is a must-have in most people's collection. I mean, like, without a doubt, this is probably the most iconic card in the game in terms of just artwork and just how nostalgic it is. I had to have a PSA 10 version, and here it is. Finally acquired it. I have 2 DDS as well as 2 more. I actually had 5 of them, but I recently let go of 1 because, again, I don't want to just hog the whole market of these cards. Obviously, like, there's 130 of them, but I don't want to hold like too big of a position. And yeah, I mean, what can I say, man? DDS Blue Eyes, one of the most beautiful cards in the game. Most people prize this card as the most valuable Blue Eyes. It's not for me. I think SDK is the most valuable, but I can see why people like this card so much. It is absolutely gorgeous. So that's DDS Blue Eyes PSA 10. Let's put those back and take out the next part. So here we have my Dark Magician Girl collection. This right here is one that not a lot of people know about. So a lot of people believe that Toon Dark Magician Girl's initial release was actually in the Jump magazine, but it was not. This was released in the Enemy of Justice sneak peek, which is around 4 to 5 months before the magazine came out. So this is actually the first release of this card. So I'm happy to be able to not only pick it up, but pick it up in PSA 10. So that's the Toon Dark Magician Girl. Something you've seen before, which is my Magician's Force PSA 10 first edition. The most iconic Dark Magician Girl out there. I'm absolutely privileged to be able to own this in my collection, so I'm very happy to have that. Most iconic card in my opinion in the game. Like, I love Dark Magician Girl. Next is the most expensive card in my collection, which is the G3. I absolutely love it, but I am going to make an exclusive video just for this. This is a recent pickup that you'll see on my page. It's the 20th anniversary Dark Magician Girl. This was released in a DVD that honestly basically just randomly exploded in price in 2020, and it hasn't come down since. This is a PSA 10 version. I picked this up for what I would say is a pretty good price. I mean, basically the price of the DVD in PSA 10. So I was like, you know, I can't go wrong with that. I absolutely love this card. It is absolutely gorgeous. And just the pattern is some of the best secret rare prismatic foiling that you will ever see. So very happy to have this one. This is the Dark Magician Girl DMMD-JP001. This is a not so sought after card. It's not very expensive. This is the Dark Magician Girl from the promo pack, like the Dark Side of Dimensions movie. This is the first release of this artwork. It was released in ultra rare, secret rare, gold rare, like every rare that you can think of, but the ultra rare is the first one. It's actually the hardest to grade because of the print lines that are prominent on this card. And that basically leaves me with the collector tin variant and the Lost Art Dark Magician Girl. I am going to be on the lookout for those. Hopefully I'll be able to check those off soon. So those are my Dark Magician Girls right now. This is a new pickup. This is Morphing Jar PSA 10. This was recently graded by a friend of mine. Absolutely love this card. One of the most insane artworks that you'll ever find. Look at the eye. look at the grin, just beautiful. And the fact that it is super iconic, and Tournament Pack 2 was only released in English. The fact that if you want a morphing jar, you either buy in English or Korean or Japanese, obviously, or nothing, is mind-boggling to me. So I'm very happy to have this one, man. It's so beautiful. I love morphing jar. Next is Dark Paladin. This is the corrected art, and then I have the error art as well. The reason I have these is just how iconic the Magician cards are. Absolutely love them. I love Buster Blader. I love the Dark Magician. You know, one day I'll be able to add SDY to my collection. And then these guys are the two ultra rares from Volume 1 and Starter Box. I featured this before in the last collection video. Very happy to have these. Beautiful, beautiful cards. Extremely low pop as well. So again, these are the original cards. These are the first printed cards, Dark Magician and Blue Eyes in the OCG. They're must-haves in my opinion, and they're pieces of history. Last but not least is a TP8 special card. This card for some reason is so expensive. I have no idea why. The reason I have this one is because I graded it. If I didn't grade it, I would not own it, to be honest with you, because I don't understand why it's so expensive. I understand that it came off the ban list, suddenly blew up in price, and I understand that the effect is absolutely ridiculous. Other than the artwork, really, like, why is this so expensive compared to the other TP8s? It makes no sense. Harpy's Feather Duster. So yeah, that's basically my whole collection. I keep them in these palms off cases now because that case was just so big. Like the one that you saw in my first video, it was so ridiculously big that it kind of became bothersome. I went with these ones because I feel like they provide just as much protection while at the same time, you know, they take up like a third of the space. It just made sense to me. I love these 20 pack boxes. You'll find these as well as the 60 pack boxes, like the ones that hold 60 cards, both linked in the description below. If you're interested in supporting me and you want to protect your PSA collection, this is the way to do it. Honestly, these are fantastic and I absolutely love them. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed that and hopefully you learned something. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.